Hey guys, Veggie Gamer back, and we're back to Lord of the Rings behind the scenes content. Veggie Nights, very, very exciting. So sorry about the wait on these guys. I do appreciate anyone who is still with me on this journey through the behind the scenes stuff. In general, the channel has been quiet for like several months now, so I apologise about that. But I always enjoy dipping back into my hat. It's really wonky today. But I really like, there we go. Right, yes. But I really like, dipping into this behind-the-scenes stuff, guys, because it is a movie series which so much passion and effort and what's the word, expertise is put into, that it is always fascinating to watch, guys. And I had no idea that the last one was actually going to be Back the Horses, guys. That was an absolute joy to watch. The one that we got today. Now, this is the thing. There appeared... So Jess very kindly has put together this playlist of behind-the-scenes Lord of the Rings stuff. And the next two are musical ones. Now, they both are titled Music for Middle-earth. Maybe that's the difference. So... I am going to do them in separate videos. I apologise if I should be doing all in one, but I'm going to do them separate. It's just, I would have thought that if they were the same thing, then they would be together. And so, if that makes any sense. So we're going to be doing the first one today. And if it's worth checking out the next one, please let me know. Hoping that it's going to be the trilogy soundtrack that we'll be getting rather than just Fellowship. Maybe the first one's Fellowship and the next one's like the trilogy. Obviously... The series had, arguably, this is fair. Arguably, the best thing about these movies is the soundtrack. I think that there is a fair argument for that, guys. Obviously, we have the wonderful Enya stuff, which, before I started watching the movies on the channel and everything, I assumed that Enya was going to be throughout the entire series and Hobbits doing soundtrack. Turned out that's not the case, guys. She, it's essentially only Fellowship, right? Did she do something for Hobbit as well? I don't think she did. I feel like I'm going to sneeze. I'm going to stop recording just so I can sneeze. No, it's a phantom sneeze, guys. It's a phantom sneeze. So obviously we have the wonderful Enya track. We then had the Rohan theme as well. We also have Even Star, which I think is actually my favourite, guys. It's during the, the future, I was going to say the dream, but like, the future, prediction and everything. And so, which, I just love it. I like, what's the term? Not sad. Sort of like, what is the term? It starts with M. Melancholy sort of music, guys. I kind of do. And so Even Star, it's called. And it doesn't play that much in the trilogy, but it is actually my favourite track from the entire movie series. We obviously have the Hobbiton theme as well, which I presume is probably called Hobbiton. Maybe, I'm not actually sure. And of course we're taking the Hobbits. They're taking the Hobbits to Isengard. I messed up that joke, damn it. So, let's get into Music for Middle-earth. As always, guys, if there's other behind-the-scenes stuff that you want me to check out, please do let me know in the comments. And yeah, I guess without further ado, let's get on to this wonderful video. When I get the chance, guys, to get back to posting more regularly, I absolutely want to be doing more Lord of the Rings content for you when it comes to like the shows and the animations and stuff like that. And obviously, doing the Hobbit book review, which I'm thoroughly looking forward to, guys. It's just finding time for it. It's quite difficult. The Harry Potter book reviews are chunky, and so finding time to put that much time into Hobbit 1 might be a little bit difficult. Although I believe it's a pretty short book, in fact, isn't it? Because my brothers both tell me that they learned it at primary school, which blows my mind, guys. Because I can't think of any story that I learnt at primary school anywhere near the size of The Hobbit. But then again, the movies, padded out a lot of it, didn't it? I still thoroughly enjoyed the movies, guys. I know that a lot of, I don't know. I wonder how many people going into Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit knowing nothing actually do enjoy The Hobbit more than people who do know a bit about, what should and shouldn't be there. Because I enjoyed it. Either way, enough waffle, guys. Let's get into the Music of Middle-earth. Let me know what your favourite aspect of Lord of the Rings movies is. It could be New Zealand. I think that is New Zealand itself is a character. New Zealand is playing Middle-earth in the Lord of the Rings movie. I think that is actually fair to say, guys. And so it could be the landscape of New Zealand. It could be the acting choice. It could be like the script. It could be the... I feel like the music, guys. I feel like the music's going to be up there. So you let me know what your favourite aspect of the Lord of the Rings movies is. And The Hobbit, of course. But without further ado, let's get into music for Middle-earth, Lord of the Rings behind the scenes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Music. No music? Music.
The
Looking
music
forward to this,
score
guys.
in any film is obviously vitally important because it totally guides your emotions when you're watching the film.
Yes.
I mean, the actors can do their job, the director can do their job in terms of creating a certain amount of mood and emotion. But obviously, music is like so strong.
Oh man,
what you should
such
be
good
feeling
acting,
at any given
guys.
time.
Peter and Fran were very clear that they wanted someone that would collaborate with them, that would be willing to invest the time to develop themes and to help us even in production.
Because more so than just scoring the film, I wanted the music to reflect Tolkien. I wanted the music to also bring the world of Middle-earth to life.
So Howard agreed to come down and meet with Peter.
And he visited the set. And he visited the set again a few months later, and he was just started to immerse himself in the world very, very quickly once he'd agreed to do the film.
You could see the depth of the creativity of what they were trying to create in New Zealand and the passion for it.
Yeah.
And I think it was on that very first trip that I had decided that I definitely wanted to do the film. It seemed like a hugely daunting task to do 3
I wonder
films.
how late they
Normally
started
on
the
movies,
soundtrack.
composers might work for 6 or 8 weeks. But Howard was with us from very early on in the shoot. So, you know, by the time The Fellowship of the Ring had been released, Howard had been on the film for nearly 2 years.
Tolkien spent 14 years writing Lord of the Rings, and you're now writing a musical image, creating
I did not know that.
a musical mirror, if you will, to his writing.
Wow.
And I mention this so often, you know, even in other discussions about feeling like Frodo, and I really did feel like that I had this amazing journey to take, and I had the ring in my vest pocket, and you were chosen. Now you're going to write the music to Lord of the Rings, and
Nice.
You had to do it.
It was more than what we could have ever dreamt, really, because, you know, Howard has become part of our family, part of our team on this film, and he is totally devoted to somehow give the music a cultural significance.
A section of the second video of Moria, just so you understand, to give you some idea of this particular world that we're trying to create. Moria, it's in the year 1697, the second age of the sun.
So that it's doing 2 jobs at the same time. And one, it's underscoring the film, it's providing an emotional link, a bridge between the movie and the audience, and it's drawing the audience in. But it's doing it in such a way that it's also telling you a lot about the cultures of this world.
It's crazy how late the music would have started the process of being made. If you know what I mean?
We don't really have the ability in the movies to use the songs and the poems to the extent that Professor Tolkien did in his books, but we are obviously trying to acknowledge that and to make it part of the texture and fabric of the movies.
Roisin Carty, who was the linguist on the film, she would do the pronunciation.
When I first met Viggo Mortensen, who plays Aragorn, it was the first thing he said. He wanted to sing this song. He's made up the tune himself. He wanted to give it a Celtic feel. And he's taken to the Elvish language like a duck to water. In Elvish, it's Tinuviel Elvanui, Elleth Alferin Ethelhael, Ohon Ring Finnil Fuinui, Arenk Gelebrin Thilion.
Keep it down. Sorry.
We sat round our kitchen table at home talking about the choral ideas for Moria, and I thought it would be really great to weight it fairly heavily towards Polynesian singers, Maoris or Pacific Islanders, who have another otherworldly quality to their voice.
Wow, I did not know that, guys. That is fascinating. Polynesian.
Mines being a dwarven kingdom would really suit having a sort of male voices, a bit like a Welsh mining choir.
Haha, that would have been cool as well.
So these 60 guys, you know, chanting these dwarvish verses.
Oh man.
And then I augmented it at the end with actual football players.
They were looking for some
You're kidding me.
grunty voices, and they thought that a Kapa Haka flavour would fit in with it.
Wow, the thought process going into this, guys, is amazing. See where Sky got the
Howard
idea, can't you?
basically, you know, found himself in the Wellington Town Hall in New Zealand with an all-Polynesian male choir.
Amazing.
Fran also became involved in the music. She wrote the lyrics for the song that is sung during the closing credits of the film, In Dreams it's called. She helped Howard direct the boys' choir. It was a London school
Dreams? I did
choir
not know
with a
that.
wonderful young boy.
Edward
It's a
Ross.
Roy Orbison song, isn't
probably
it?
About 12 years old.
No.
He represented the boys, and it was a boy soloist for the choir.
That song was
I
recorded
love this song
in the,
so
the
much.
number 2
I didn't know it was
studio
called
at
In
Abbey
Dream.
Road, which is where the Beatles did all their recording. And as
Wow.
a huge Beatle fan, I was incredibly thrilled to be there, find myself there recording a song for our movie.
We will discuss that, guys. This is such a beautiful song, though. All got ties on it as well, bless her. Oh man, that's beautiful. I didn't know that was
We
called
wanted
In Dreams,
to have
guys.
some featured vocalists within the
is
music
a
as
beautiful
well,
song.
more so than just the choirs. And Enya's music has always been, you know, closely related to Tolkien.
And I wrote the beginning of it, where you see Arwen with Strider. I wrote that little introduction that leads into it, and then she wrote that vocal piece, much like the way I was orchestrating the rest of the score.
The
I'm sorry I'm not
Lothlorien
talking that
music,
much, guys.
The,
It's-
the music of the
I'll-
elves.
I'll
the
explain
Lothlorien
why in a
we
moment.
Deliberately gave it a slightly Eastern flavour.
Has some very exotic African instruments playing, and some East Indian instruments playing in it as well.
Wow, when you just... It's
One of my
incidental
great
music,
joys
but
was
I've
to
never
get to
actually
work
just sat
with
down and
Howard
listened to
Shore
it. It's beautiful.
and write some lyrics for his incredible score.
Philippa wrote a lot of the choral pieces that Howard needed for the various parts of the film. You know, whether they were elven choral or dwarf choral or you know, the vocals. We wanted a song for Lothlorien as well, although we didn't think it was appropriate to use Enya in both places because we wanted the music to feel like Enya belonged to one part of the Elvish world, and we wanted a different voice for Lothlorien just to make them feel very separate.
Absolutely,
And
it makes complete
Elizabeth
sense.
Fraser, she has the most wonderful voice and ability to create this very ethereal sound with her voice.
It's quite scary. I'll explain why I'm not talking much in a moment, guys.
The revelation.
It's because
of
I've
the
never
Ring
sat down and
Race
just
was a
listened
poem
to the
that
music.
Philippa Boyens wrote. They were
Oh,
sent
yes.
to David Sallow, as a Tolkien scholar. He would translate them into the appropriate languages. In the case of this, it was translated into Andunaic, which was the ancient speech of men.
Those damn pillows. So cool, though. Such cool imagery. I freaking love them, guys. I really do. Ah! I'm gonna take it off.
Is the industrial age. And it's written in 5/4
Yeah.
to evoke this kind of things being a little off kilter. I mean, the 5/4 rhythm is a little unusual, that it always felt a bit unresolved.
How fascinating. The
The
voice
Ring
of
has,
the Ring.
many
literally.
different voices in the music. So I used the sound of the boy choir of the seduction of the ring, because I thought that part of the seduction of it, I thought, was the regaining of a lost life.
What I mean?
It is a
Absolutely.
strange fate that we should suffer so much fear and death.
Yeah, like an innocence. Oh, that's beautiful. In a really terrifying way.
For the evil of the ring, when Gimli tries to destroy the ring, and you hear that evilness to it, and the black speech coming out of it. And then there's the just the sheer power of the ring. You hear it in the prologue.
So cool.
I want to feel something when
Oh,
I
don't.
watch the film. And that's how I create music. I mean, that I'm watching the film and feeling something and trying to create that in music. It's like the creation of the Fellowship. As the two hobbits leave Hobbiton and they set out on their own, and you hear the first statement of the Fellowship theme.
Is that right?
Because it's essentially the first time the Fellowship has formed.
Wow, I would have thought it'd been before then. That's amazing.
Finally,
I will
the
discuss
Fellowship
that.
being formed to support Frodo to take the ring in Rivendell. It's a very magic moment in the film. And Elrond says that you will now be the Fellowship of the Ring, and the music just swells, and you just hear that fully formed version of the Fellowship theme. You never hear that true heroic version anymore after Gandalf falls. It's now disintegrating, and Frodo's on the beach, and you hear the last version of the Fellowship theme.
Wow.
What I'm doing now is writing 30 minutes of new music. I don't think anybody's ever done that. I think it might be a first where the composer has gone back and recorded new music for new scenes that are wonderful scenes that give a lot more backstory to some of the cultures.
Good old Pippin. The main man, guys, the main man.
The music for the Fellowship of the Ring is going to be related, obviously, directly to the 2000 and the Return of the King. I mean, I'm sure there'll be a day when it'll be very, it'll be an interesting day to listen to the music of all three films, because I know that Howard
Oh, yes.
does see this as being the opportunity in his life to basically create a opera.
Taking it out of the context of what we think of film music and what we think of as opera. So if you think you're writing an opera piece, you don't think of it as in cues, but you think of a much larger structure. It has to have that cohesive shape. If you go to the opera, you've watched Fellowship, which is Act 1, the curtain has come down, and you've gone out to intermission, you've had a drink or a snack or something, and now you've gone back and you're sitting in your seat, curtain's going up for Act 2. And that will happen December 2002.
Oh. Beautiful. Okay, guys. So I said it a couple times, guys, and I shouldn't have done. I kept on saying, I'm sorry, I'm not saying much. And because I was saying something, I apologise for that, because that was so fascinating. And it's so strange, guys, because several of those tracks that we heard in this, I've never just sat down and listened to. Particularly when they're going through the woods, it really just struck me how blooming beautiful it was. Here we go. Yeah, this part here, the music here, it's something which obviously really added to the scene. But I was thinking, oh god, I hope they're all going to be okay after what just happened with the Balrog and everything when what reacted to the movie. But I have never just sat down and listened to the soundtrack. I am going to go and listen to this one probably seconds after I click stop on this video, guys. But this was blooming fascinating. And and on top of that, another reason why I'm not saying anything, guys, because like I say, it's the first time I've actually listened to the music with the intent of actually listening to the music and trying to understand it. But that was so fascinating that talking about the process. I said right near the start how was it Howard Shaw? Was that his name? How presumably quite late. Not late, but how late in the late in the movie he would have actually got involved, which is kind of mind-boggling. The fact that he went to New Zealand and that's when he decided that he wanted to be a part of it. I would have thought surely they would have roped him in sooner, but obviously not, though, which is just so fascinating. I'm glad that we got to hear a bit about the Enya tracks because obviously she did a couple, didn't she? I did forget that, I must admit. But the fact that the Fellowship theme first plays when Frodo and Sam are in the cornfield, that's fascinating. And you know what? I would have either assumed that it had been just throughout the movie earlier on, or first later on when the Fellowship is actually together in Rivendell. But that's so cool that it's when they're basically making that first step, and like Sam's will say, I've never been this far in everything. That's the first time that it plays. That is beautiful. And again, that is the sort of thing which I would have, if you'd asked me what the first scene where the Fellowship tune played, I probably would have said maybe when Frodo and Gandalf are talking on the cart, maybe they like rope in like a little bit there. But no, what a beautiful moment to have that. Talking about that scene, guys. You know, a little while ago I was talking about how Merry and Pippin have like this podcast, the actors I should say, and they're saying if you're allowed to add one swear word or one swear into Lord of the Rings, the trilogy, the whole thing, where would you add it? If you're allowed to have one added to it. And I did think of one, guys, and it is in that scene. And so I would have had when Frodo's like, asking Gandalf about what he's playing and everything, and like Gandalf like doesn't answer, just for Bilbo to go, okay, keep your fucking secrets. I'm sorry, when I thought that up, I did laugh quite a bit, I must admit. But then again, I'm a very childish person though, so that's where I would have added it in. So let me know where you would add in one swear word. I think we did this before. But yes, if you missed out that time, please do add it again. I'm sorry about saying keep it down in this bit, because it is such a beautiful scene, guys. Such a beautiful poem. It's so interesting that he wrote. This is the sort of thing that blows my mind sometimes, guys, because obviously certain things in certain movies are ad-libbed and everything. But when it comes to Lord of the Rings, it just seems so amazing that the actors were allowed to have input into how certain scenes were done, and apparently he wrote the tune itself. And these people are so bloomin' talented, guys. It actually disgusts me. It really does. They all are so bloomin' talented and beautiful. It is amazing, though. It really is. And so that's so fascinating hearing about the language going into it. The Moria stuff with the Polynesian choir was very cool. I did say that's where you can see where Skyrim got it from. Skyrim got a lot from Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, guys. It really did. It really did. And that's not a criticism, guys. It was the right decision for Skyrim. Skyrim is one of the best games of all time. Peter Jackson saying about how he was really excited about going to Abbey Road because he's a big Beatles fan, and also that scene with the was it all a boy choir? I think it was in Dreams. I'm sorry about me making a stupid comment about Roy Orbison, guys. There is one of Roy Orbison's best songs, in my opinion, is a song called In Dreams. Only in Dreams. That's quite a good impression of Roy Orbison there. Wow, I've got a new talent, guys. I do like a bit of Roy Orbison, I must admit. But yeah, he has a wonderful song called In Dreams. It's not the one that's in Lord of the Rings. I did not know that tune was called In Dreams. And again, I'm going to be listening to that after I click stop on the OBS. But Peter Jackson since has put out I think it's called Get Back, isn't it? And it's like a multi-hour long. I think it's an archive footage thing rather than a documentary, isn't it? Where it just shows like hours upon hours of the Beatles, like writing different songs and everything. I should probably check it out eventually, shouldn't I? Not for a reaction. I can't imagine that would be reaction worthy, but because I love me some Beatles, guys. That absolutely would be very interesting. So that's very interesting. That was presumably the first time that Peter Jackson had gone to the Abbey Road Studios. We didn't hear about the Hobbiton theme. And I don't even know what it's called. Is it just called the Hobbiton? I feel like it's called the Hobbiton theme. Unless we did hear about it. Sound of the Shire or the Shire, it might just be called, in fact. Well, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, arguably the best tune from the entire thing. Oh, that is okay. As we're doing a soundtrack one, guys, what is your favourite tune from Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit? If it is in The Hobbit, then please, because obviously we have the Billy Boyd song at the end of the third Hobbit movie, I believe. But let me know what your favourite soundtrack, and it doesn't have to be a song, but like I say, my favourite is Even Star, guys. And I couldn't even begin to tell you, it's when Arwen is basically being told that he's going to grow old and you're going to lose him, and you're going to have a life of eternal misery because of it. Such a beautiful scene, but my God, the music in that scene makes it so much more powerful. See, I'm getting blooming emotional about talking about it. So Even Star is my favourite. But my goodness, there's a large array of different contenders, though, aren't there? When it showed Gimli attempting to destroy the ring, it reminded me of a meme. I'm getting recommended loads of memes on Instagram. I am on Instagram, guys, Veggie_gamer. I'm much more active on Twitter, though. Veggie_gamer again. Of Gimli, getting the axe out, swinging it down, and then the third shot is him getting crowned. It's stupid. Would have been a different story, wouldn't it? Oh, God. No, I've been seeing a lot of memes from Lord of the Rings lately, I must admit, and I'm not complaining. I wonder if there is a live show, a touring live performance of the soundtrack. There has to be, right? I mean, there has to be. I would imagine there is. For some reason, the thing that pops into my head is Final Fantasy, the video game series, has a show called Distant Worlds, where they basically they tour the world and played soundtracks from all the different games. I've never been. I would love to go, but listening to the soundtrack live of this must be bone chilling. Is not the right term because that sounds bad, but it must be chilling, quite frankly. I think it must be. I feel like chilling is the right word. Very interesting what they said about, apparently in Lord of the Rings, there are lots of poems and something, I can't remember what it said, but apparently Tolkien, going on this video, there's lots of poems and so on in Lord of the Rings. I'm wondering if that's much like the songs that we get in The Hobbit, that's what Bilbo Baggins hates and stuff like that. Maybe it's similar to that, but in the movies they just took them out generally. Because The Hobbit, the first Hobbit movie, Unexpected Journey is its name, isn't it? I believe. That is tantamount of a musical. It really is. Which knocked me for six, guys. I was not expecting any music. And the music on Hobbit, guys. The blooming tune, where the dwarfs are singing about the smog attack. Fantastic, quite frankly. And so maybe there were what you'd equate to being poems or songs in Lord of the Rings, but they were dropped. I guess we'll find out eventually, guys, if we do that. I do feel like if we're going to do book reviews, I should really do The Hobbit first. I really do feel like that's going to be a good idea. And if there is still interest in it, then go over to Lord of the Rings, which is going to be a project. But I feel like doing it the other way around might be a little bit of a mistake. And so let me know your thoughts on that. This was beautiful, guys. And it makes me really realise that I haven't just spent a couple of hours or an evening, or when I'm editing, or when I'm doing all sorts of paperwork and everything, why I don't just pop on the Lord of the Rings soundtrack. Because I did say on my first reaction to Lord of the Rings is that I bought the album soundtrack to Lord of the Rings when it was new. But then, even then, I was only really listening to In Dreams, didn't know the name of it, and May It Be, is it Evening Star, is it called? Because Even Star is the one which I absolutely love. It's my favourite. And it's a shame they didn't talk about that here, but maybe they will on the next one. Oh, God, it's beautiful, guys. But, the Enya, May It Be an Evening Star, I feel like that's what it's called. Very confusing that it's called Even Star, but Even Star is a surname, isn't it? Anyway, I'm waffling. So let me know your favourite soundtrack from... You know what? If you want to do Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, please do. Or if you want to do your favourite soundtrack of each movie, please do as well. Let me know where you would add in a swear word. It's the Lord of the Rings. Trying to figure out. Just really stupid ones. Like something like, what is it? Like, sausages, bacon, tomato. Why? No, that's stupid, James. Veggie. My secret's out, guys. My secret is out. So, yes, let me know where you would add in a swear word. There must be... Give me... destroy the weird... Why is it that... The human king is told at the start? Is it destroy the ring or is it give me the ring? It's destroy the ring, isn't it? No, I'm not... I don't swear on my channel, but it would be funny if he said something then. We swear. Guys, let me know... Yeah. Let me know all the stuff which I've asked for. But this is an absolute joy. And I'm so sorry for the wait, but I cannot wait for the next one. Rohan theme has got to get some time. Because I know that's... I feel like a lot of people, you guys are going to be saying that's your favourite. Oh, it's definitely got to get a lot of chunky time in the next video. I'd like Even Star, but I have a feeling... I feel like Even Star is like my track. It's like not many people would rank it as being their favourite, but my god, it is beautiful, guys. So, let me know all the stuff in the comments. Please like, comment, subscribe. Oh, that's a very abrupt finish. Let me know if there's anything else that you want me to check out when it comes to Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, guys. Like I say, I once I am able to record more regularly and everything, I would love to do more, you know, of the shows and the animations and the book clubs and stuff like this, guys. I would love to. And also, there was a new Lord of the Rings announced, right? Yeah. Let me know, guys, because I'm always up for suggestions. It's a shame that Team Star Kid didn't do a Lord of the Rings musical. Or maybe they did, and I just haven't been told about it. I don't think they did. Or any other Lord of the Rings content I'm up for covering, guys, because quite frankly, it's just such a joy. So I'll check out the next musical one next time. Again, I will probably be quite quiet in it, but quite frankly, guys, you know, I'm not going to be going, oh my god, when it's talking about the musical and everything. I want to be able to listen to and try and understand what they're saying, because quite frankly, this is beyond me. I would have loved to learn an instrument, guys, but my brain isn't capable of it. You know what? I would have loved to learn the clarinet. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I've been a Veggie Gamer, and I'll see you next. The Veggie Gamer? I've been Veggie Gamer. I've been the Veggie. Please like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff. I've been Veggie Gamer. Yeah, I do say the, right. And I'll see you next time. I'm sorry about the outro.